Golf and its controversies aren't ending, are they? There's something new every day in the news relating to the LIV and how some professional golfers hate it, while some just want to make some dough. No matter what, LIV is always in the news for one reason or the other, be it good or bad. And now it's also qualified for the world ranking points. Let's talk more about it in this video. We'll start off with the Alliance. The Middle East and North Africa Tour, called MENA, announced a strange sort of alliance with LIV Golf that'll make it hope to qualify for the official world golf ranking points for the MENA event that'll happen in Thailand this week. The details of this announcement have shown that all the LIV Golf players are now going to be part of the MENA Tour. In turn, that'll co-sanction the events at Stonehill. That's a new course in Bangkok. The plot just keeps thickening, doesn't it? The president and chief operating officer of LIV Golf said that they're taking this mutually beneficial step to help the game grow at the development level, and because it's important and fair for LIV golfers to get OWGR points. He also said that he and everyone involved in the LIV are very pleased to create pathways that'll give more opportunities to the younger players, while also giving the fans all those rankings with the world's best golfers out there. The MENA, the Middle East and North Africa Tour, has announced a strategic alliance with LIV Golf that will see both parties hope to qualify for official World Golf Ranking, or OWGR, points for its event in Thailand this week. David Spencer, who's the tour commissioner of MENA, said that it's a very exciting time for the MENA Tour, and that through this alliance, their players will now have increased playing opportunities and more strong pathways. This is great news for the future of many young players on the tour. Next up, the slow down process. The MENA Tour also sent information about the Bangkok field to the OWGR. Many details about the points on offer are still to be confirmed. Even the OWGR released a statement regarding this recent development on Thursday and said that no world ranking points would be awarded to LIV Golf until the review of the MENA Tour change is complete. So they're staying put no matter what alliances are formed. That's what we call sticking by the principles. And this new news is a huge moment for the Greg Norman-fronted LIV, which had previously been a part of the ongoing battle with the OWGR board that also comprised PGA Tour Commissioner Kay Monahan and DP World Tour CEO Keith Pelley. So when these two were involved, of course, there were going to be troubles. We're all aware of the rivalry between PGA and LIV. Even those who are not exactly huge fans of golf know what's been happening between these two. LIV has been said to be growing impatient with the slow process since it submitted its application back in July. Well, surely they knew what was causing the delays, and yet they remained cool and struck back in a different way with a whole new alliance. And now they're very close. In case you didn't know, the MENA Tour was founded in 2011 by the Sheikh Maktoum Golf Foundation and has been recognized by the OWGR since 2016. But it hasn't staged any events since COVID-19, when its global impact hit it hard. Moving on, mo money, mo recognition. So now that this announcement has come, it's probably the most significant thing to happen in LIV Golf's history. Until this point, the Saudi-backed league has been successful in getting some of golf's biggest stars with no promises of ranking recognition. It was all about the money for them back then, and Saudi Arabians know a thing or two about that. And that's basically why the PGA was super angry, because LIV was buying top players in the game, and they couldn't do something similar in case they needed to throw that in LIV's face later on. We're just throwing things out there. To be honest, who knows what the reality is? But now that these big stars know that there's a possibility of the world ranking too, they're probably punching the air with their fist right about now, because what are they losing? They're getting more money and recognition along with it. That's not something they imagined back then when the money looked good enough all on its own. For players like Cameron Smith, who had secured their entry into the upcoming majors through their Open Championship success at St. Andrews, this news isn't that impressive. But for other younger players, this news is huge in order to tee it up for the four most elite tournaments in golf. Next on the list, the after effects and the criticism. Patrick Reed, the former Masters champion, has emphasized the effect of the current battle, where he dropped out of the top 50 for the first time since 2014. The American reached a career-high world number 6 in 2020, but his defection to LIV Golf saw his status become increasingly risky, and he finally dropped out of the world's top 50 after his disappointing missed cut in the DP World Tour's Open de France at Le Golf National. The OWGR board has also been heavily criticized by Greg Norman, who said that their approach to giving recognition to LIV Golf is severely compromised, even when 48 of the best players in the world are members of that circuit. Without including LIV, he said that they're also compromising on the integrity and accuracy of the rankings entirely. I can't say he's wrong there, because no matter what, the fact remains that the LIV was successful in recruiting some of the biggest stars in golf, and if they're not involved because because of the sanction, they really can't expect the rankings to mean anything at that point. With official ranking points very close, LIV Golf can look confidently ahead to the future, which will include its expansion plans for 2023 when we'll see it rebranded to a fully fledged league with 48 players and 12 established team franchises that'll compete in a 14-tournament schedule with insane prizes. We know LIV hasn't gotten the world ranking points, but now let's talk about why it couldn't get them. First off, not eligible. For now at least, we know that the attempted backdoor channel for the world ranking points has been cut off, and despite everything that's been happening, the 48 players on the field at Stonehill played for another $25 million and have a growing chip on their shoulders. And while Phil Mickelson says that from a player's standpoint, it feels great to have everyone at LIV fighting so hard for the players and their best interest, he also thinks that for the World Golf Rankings, it's great that they partnered up with the MENA Tour, which has OWGR's blessing, which will help them with their credibility and also not bring politics into the decision-making process. But the OWGR didn't see it that way. The organization said in a statement that it had received a statement from MENA about their changes, but LIV is still not eligible for points in Thailand or at its event in Saudi Arabia. Even though MENA has teamed up with LIV, it's still not enough time for OWGR to do the usual review it needs to do before the LIV Golf Invitational at Jeddah. The statement also said that only after the review is complete will they make a decision on awarding points to the MENA Tour's new limited field tournaments. This is part of its rules, which say that any MENA Tour approved tournament with fewer than 80 players is eligible. Speaking of, what's the holdup? The people involved with the LIV were extremely disappointed after hearing this statement. Even though LIV really thought they had it this time, considering they formed an alliance with the MENA Tour and were expecting things to look up for them, but that also didn't happen because the OWGR has some eligibility criteria that the LIV Golf doesn't live up to as of yet, apparently. Even though the things that LIV has right now make it near eligibility, like a sponsor tour, one of the 6 full member tours has to propose the new tour's inclusion. In this case, the Asian Tour nominated LIV, which vouches for its legitimacy and like an opportunity for players from the new tour to get access to the sponsoring tour. In the case of LIV, that means LIV players need to have an avenue to play on the Asian Tour, which they'll get. Last of all, delays and technicalities. But the process that OWGR follows is pretty taxing and takes a lot of time. In fact, checking one's eligibility can take up to 14 to 18 months, and LIV Golf only sent their application in July. Someone's getting a little impatient, right? And they haven't been making that impatience subtle. Let's also not forget that the delays that have been happening are happening because important PGA sympathizers are on the board, which are the main reason LIV hasn't been able to secure world ranking points. That's it from our side for today. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And what do you think is the reason behind OWGR's delays? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.